From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and welcome to our Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. After talking for weeks about vetoing the legislature-approved plan to achieve an in-state gas pipeline, Governor Bill Walker finally made good yesterday. The anticipated move came hours before the 15-day deadline the governor has to send a passed bill back to lawmakers. While he said a day earlier he was concerned discussions would cease immediately if he vetoed HB 132, the governor said in a news release that the move, quote, in no way means the end of discussions with legislative leadership, end quote. The argument is over whether the state should throw everything behind a single large pipeline, the AK LNG project, or keep a smaller Alaska standalone pipeline project available as a backup. Walker's veto leaves the legislature two options: let the bill die or come up with the 40 votes needed for an override that would pass the bill into law. This past week, U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski highlighted the need to improve access to Alaska's natural resources in order to ensure that the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System remains in operation far into the future. She said the pipeline is an extraordinary piece of energy infrastructure, but that the amount of oil going through the line has been declining for years. Murkowski said attempts to increase production have been blocked by the inability to access resources on federal lands. She said right now the line carries about 500,000 of barrels a day, but the forecast shows by 2035 that number will be considerably lower.
Just 180,000 barrels a day when we hit 2035, which is a terrifying prospect for us right now, because the concern is that there gets to a point where that throughput is so low, it brings into question the ability of that pipeline to function safely as we need it to be. And if it cannot function safely, then you stop moving the oil through the line, and when you stop moving the oil through the line, the law requires that we decommission that incredible energy infrastructure.
With summer construction season right around the corner, the Department of Transportation held an open house today for the public to ask questions and express their concerns. DOT brought big machinery to Hutchinson High School today for the kids to climb into, and they also offered a barbecue picnic. Inside, they had lots of tables to set up for the public to explore, along with a chance to meet DOT workers and talk about concerns they have for the upcoming construction season. Michael Lund, construction manager for the Northern Region DOT, said it's going to be a very busy construction season this year on the Parks and Richardson Highway, in rural communities and around town, including Airport Way, College Road, and Cushman Street. He also said DOT arranged this open house out of a desire to serve the community better by letting the public get involved and be heard.
Some of the common questions are, why is there so much work going on in town this summer? Fbx has been fortunate enough over the last several years to not see a whole lot of work in town. Last year was a busy season, and the year before that, and this year is certainly a busy season. But a lot of our pavements in town are 20, 25, 35 years old and really are in need of a rehab. Our maintenance and operations forces put more and more money into that on a yearly basis, which is state funded, and they're out there patching potholes and doing crack sealing work. And at some point, the roadway gets beyond its useful life and needs a refresh.
And the Fairbanks Police Department is warning Southside residents to be mindful. There have been reports of property tampering in the area, and they suggest residents secure their homes and vehicles. And when we come back, a local TV producer shares his thoughts on the possible repeal of the Alaska Film Incentive. Also, members of the UAF community take a stand to violence in the interior by speaking out. Stay with us. Welcome back. Alaska's film industry could be facing a dire future. House Bill 39, which has already passed in the Senate, is set to repeal the state's film production tax credits. These tax credits are key to luring out-of-state producers into filming their projects in Alaska. Previously, the Alaska Film Office was in charge of deciding which productions would receive these tax credits. Recently, the Film Office and 3 positions were eliminated by Governor Walker's budget cuts. The major motion picture Hunter Killer recently backed out of filming in Whittier, citing the loss of the tax incentives as a part of that decision. Many local Alaskans working and training in the industry say that if the bill should pass, it won't even save the state any money.
I can see how some people would think that this bill would bring us money short term, but really from the amount we've already invested in it to the amount we could have gained from it, especially with the loss of Hunter Killer, the feature film, and we are missing out on millions of dollars of income. I was one of the first students to become part of the film program when it first started up at UAF. And since then I've been working on getting as many jobs as I can in film and TV and other types of entertainment production. So with the program being suspended, it makes me feel like I don't know if I can actually continue to do this work in Alaska if I choose to live here.
With the spring school semester wrapping up and summer approaching, it's time to start thinking about summer plans for the kids. Tomorrow, KTVF is helping to showcase the interior's fun summer camps, sports, and programs for all ages. The Summer Activity Fair makes it easy for families to learn about these local organizations by bringing them together under one roof. Families can ask questions of local organizations, get brochures, participate in hands-on activities, and even sign their kids up for their favorite summer camp on the spot. Event coordinator Brittany Holliday says this is a free event and everyone is welcome.
There's going to be 31 organizations at the event tomorrow, and each organization will be providing their own hands-on activity for kids to do. Parents will have the opportunity to sign their kids up for their favorite organizations and their favorite summer programs as well. So it's going to be an informative event, but also fun event for families to come out and enjoy.
Members of the UAF community rallied together last night to speak up against violence in the interior. Take Back the Night is an event that started in the 1970s and is now organized by the Nanack Diversity and Action Council. It's a rally to end sexual violence, domestic assault, and interpersonal violence by coming together, sharing stories, supporting one another, and talking about ways to prevent future occurrences. The Green Dot program was recently introduced to Fairbanksans as a new program focused on empowering people to speak up in situations that could get violent. UAF Police Chief Keith Mallard has been a driving force behind the program, and he spoke at last night's rally. They also had speakers from Rural Student Services, the Women's Center, and some actual victims of sexual assault. They started on campus at Constitution Park and then marched on to Trothieta Park to listen to more speakers who shared how they are involved with these efforts. The goal was not only to prevent future violence in the interior, but also to create a community of compassion and support.
I hope that events like this raise people's awareness. UAF isn't immune to something that we know happens on campuses all over the nation, and unfortunately college-aged women are at one of the highest risks for sexual assault, and I think that raising awareness and kind of just creating a community of compassion is what we need to do to support this survivor as well as other survivors here on campus and in our entire community.
The Morris Thompson Cultural Center and Visitor Center is in downtown Fairbanks is an incredible display of beauty, people, and cultures. Earlier this week at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, the facility was presented with a check for $25,000 from the ExxonMobil Corporation. This money will go towards an endowment fund the center is developing with the goal of raising a total of $160,000 to provide long-term revenue for Alaska Native cultural programs within the center. Officials of the facility were very grateful for the latest donation.
Yes, well, we're very grateful for ExxonMobil's donation, $25,000 donation to the endowment. We are trying to grow an endowment to make sure that these walls here at the Morris Thompson Cultural Center are filled with the fiddlers fiddling and the dancing and all of the beautiful work that is here.
ExxonMobil considers the Alaska Native community to be extremely important, and we want to use our contributions to facilitate the preservation of that culture.
Mike Fussel's coming up next with all your local sports action, including a look at the Ice Dogs are faring in the postseason. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our weekend edition. I'm Mike Fussell. Today we have a lot to talk about in the world of interior sports. Spring has athletes out competing in full swing. In fact, we'll take a look at some sports you probably haven't seen in a while. But first, we have some unfortunate news. Fairbanks was unable to advance to the next round in the Kraft Hockeyville Challenge. The Final Four have been decided, though. They include towns from Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Illinois. But not all is bad in the realm of Fairbanks hockey. The Ice Dogs traveled to Minnesota to take on the Magicians in Game 3 of their first round postseason series Friday. The Magicians came out seeking redemption with an early goal. Jesper Orvald then even the playing field, finding the back of the net to tie it up 1-1. The second period was scoreless, bringing everything down to the last 20 minutes. That's when Fairbanks went full throttle, racking up 3 goals and securing the victory 4-1. Ethan Somoza, Todd Burgess, and Jacob Hetz all took part in the late rally. The Ice Dogs take the series with the win and will move on to play the winner of the Coulee Region Wilderness Series. And high school soccer programs throughout the interior are playing some of their first matches of the season, and they all took place on the new turf fields at the Fairbanks Youth Soccer Association complex. The KTVF sports team was there to catch the opening weekend action. The reigning 2014 MAC champions were fighting to hold their conference dominance on Friday night. The Lathrop girls were defending their title against the North Pole Patriots. Both teams traded goals in the first half. Carly Fitzgerald would slip one past the Patriots keeper, and Kylie Erickson would do the same for North Pole. And it would be deja vu in the second half. Fitzgerald and Erickson both converted shots to bring the game to a 2-2 draw at the final whistle.
Our biggest thing to fix is we're just going to work on communication. Everybody worked really well together. We just got to communicate so we don't have any lapses.
And the West Valley boys also fought to defend their MAC title against the Eielson Ravens. And they had no trouble doing just that. The Wolfpack scored 8 goals in the first half alone and finished with a tally of 15-0. The win brings West Valley's record over 500 with 2 wins and 1 loss. And the Lady Wolfpack started their season Friday as well. They would take the W 1-0 thanks to a shot by freshman Grace Marks in her varsity debut. And on Saturday, the Lathrop girls continued the action against Wasilla. The Malamutes would be the first to strike early in the game. Carly Fitzgerald again snuck one past the Wasilla keeper to tally the first point of the day. She would keep the magic going on this hard-fought shot, bringing the Lady Mutes up 2-0. Late before the half, both teams would trade PK goals. That put the game at 3-1, Lathrop up going into the intermission. Carly Fitzgerald went on to be the lone scorer of the second half. She had 4 goals on the day, securing the 4-1 victory for the Lady Malamutes.
Had to put a lot more pace on the passes. It's a little slower out here than we've been playing in the gym. And it's a lot bigger than what we're used to, so we're having to get used to the width and the big space, but I think we're adjusting really well.
And local high school track and field athletes began tuning up for their seasons with some friendly competition earlier today. The first of 2 mini-meets took place at North Pole High School. Eielson, Hutch, Lathrop, West Valley, and North Pole joined in on the action. Coaches were able to get a feel for their rosters as each team was allowed unlimited event entrance. Timing and scoring was unofficial, letting participants work out kinks before performances counted towards meet tallies. Shot put and high jump were featured as field events this morning. Discus and long jump athletes will get a chance to show what they've got at next Saturday's mini-meet. Track events will also be staggered over the 2 weekends. West Valley hurdler Sam Carney Braveman says it's nice to be back out getting some reps on the track.
It's cold, but it's nice. I've been running inside all winter, so it's nice to be outside. Definitely going to be practicing a lot, so I can go to state. I think I did pretty well. I slowed down kind of at the end, but I did pretty good for practice.
And several members of the Lathrop track team also went down to Anchorage this weekend to participate in the Pro-Wit Indoor Championships. The boys team is in first place with 33 points after day 1 of the competition. Jack Dickinson placed 5th in shot put and 6th in discus. Jared Welch took the number 2 spot in high jump and long jump for the Malamutes, and Jaslyn Davis took 6th in long jump for the girls. And that about brings us to the buzzer for sports tonight. Katie Looper has your full weather forecast coming up next. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next weekend. And welcome back to our weekend edition. Well, it seems like there's a lot of construction that's planned for this summer. Is that typical for Fairbanks?
It really is, yeah, because Fairbanks becomes a major construction zone in the summer. We've got 24 hours of sunlight, you know,
right,
making it easy to work through the night. And then, yeah, DOT was telling me that they're going to be doing Airport, College Road, Cushman, or pretty main roads, but you know, it's for the better. It's to make them nicer and
get some folks out there working who weren't able to do that in the winter.
Exactly.
But you know, it's still tough to get around.
Yeah, it's true, but we've made our way last summer, so we should be good.
Great. Well, and I guess if that's the bad news, let's hope the weather can cheer us up.
Yeah, actually, we've got another nice week coming up, so let's get into that now. Our normal high today was 46, our normal low was 23. Our record high got up to 68 in 1999 and as low as 18 below in 1948. Quite the difference between those two. Our sun rose at 6:06 this morning and sets at 9:38 this evening, giving us 15 hours and 32 minutes of daylight and a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Now around the state today, rain showers in Juneau at 42, cloudy skies in Ketchikan at 50, some more rain showers in Anchorage and Kodiak, 54 in Anchorage and 43 in Kodiak. Sunny skies in Bethel at 45. Barrow is cloudy at 8 degrees, and in the interior, 51 for Fairbanks with partly sunny skies. Now for the lower 48 today. Sunny skies for Seattle at 66. Nice sunny skies in Vegas as well at 86. Billings and Salt Lake are in the mid-60s. And over there towards the east, Minneapolis is raining at 73. Now there's lightning storms in New Orleans at 79, same with Miami at 90, yet sunny skies in New York at 79 degrees. Now for this weekend's forecast, quite the action going on. Dry temperatures over there on the west side of the states, yet it's going to be chillier with rain in the north Midwest. As we move on down to the east Texas area, severe thunderstorms are expected there with some flooding in the deep south. Yet nice temperatures as we move up the east coast with a little rain in New York. All right, back in Alaska, rain and snow in Nome, partly cloudy at Barrow and Fort Yukon, 15 in Barrow, 50 degrees in Fort Yukon, and 37 degrees in Nome. Now as for the interior, cloudy skies for them, 58, 52 in Delta, and 48 in Healy. Now as we move on down to the east, rain for both Juneau and Ketchikan, 47 in Juneau and 50 in Ketchikan. As we move west, we can see rain and snow for Bethel, rain in Kodiak, rain likely in Cold Bay. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s for Cold Bay and Bethel, and 44 in Kodiak. Now lastly, for our south central region, rain and showers in Anchorage and Homer, and rain and snow in Valdez. Temperatures at 50 for Anchorage and Homer, and 42 in Valdez. Now for tonight's forecast, 33 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we can expect 58 degrees with partly sunny skies. And a nice, lovely week, consistent temperatures, 50s and mid-40s all throughout the week, and then mid-20s for our nightly temperatures. So it looks like a good week for us, Fussell.
It sounds great. I mean, it seems like day after day we're getting closer and closer to those summer temperatures.
Oh yeah, you just wait. We get up there to like, you know, even, well, 80s. I mean, it hasn't made it past 100 in Alaska yet, but
great.
We're getting there.
That should be awesome. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I guess if kids are bored, they might have something to do.
Exactly. We got the KTVF Summer Activities Fair happening tomorrow. You can find out all about what kind of camps you want to go to, activities. We got the KTVF Broadcast Academy, and that's in the summer. We teach kids about broadcasting and things like that.
Great. That one hits home.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I think that'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News, and we're glad you could join us.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11, or anytime online at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.